Tristram, thanks for the comment, mate. Let me explain why investing in art in order to try and avoid paying tax is probably a bad idea. So let's get stuck into it. So there's lots of people that speculate around the idea that rich and wealthy people utilize art as a tax avoidance or tax minimization strategy. Now, the reality of the situation is that art is, in the eyes of the ATO, seen as an asset. And that asset needs to be considered on a couple of bases. The first basis is that as an asset, it does have a depreciation consideration. Because the kind of usable life of artwork is deemed to be about 100 years, it only depreciates 1% per annum. However, we do have the ability for accelerated depreciation or the instant asset write-off here in Australia. I believe the current threshold is about 30,000. So you could buy a $30,000 artwork, you could fully depreciate it up front, and you have the ability to claim that paper loss off your taxable income. However, you still need to come up with the $30,000 investment and in order to be able to depreciate it in the first place, and let's assume that you're on, say, a 30% average tax rate, you're only getting 30 cents back in the dollar, so you have lost 70 cents. Sure, you have a nice artwork to show for it, but from a financial standpoint, it's a really bad idea, okay? Now, second to this, because you've claimed an instant asset write-off, the cost base of that asset has been reduced, meaning that, let's say, for example, in the future that you do manage to sell this artwork for a profit, then you are going to pay a higher capital gains tax on the sale amount. The likelihood is that you're probably not going to sell it for a profit because I suspect, like most punters, myself included, I have no idea what art is worth. I don't know what presents good value, and it is a really volatile asset class. I've had a number of clients who've been fine art dealers specializing in modern art and Aboriginal artworks. There is a long and arduous process that goes into selling any art that's worth anything of significance, and it is a very, very volatile investment at the best of times, particularly when the cost of living is affecting us so much at the moment. Things like artwork don't tend to do very well. Now, the other part to this is that you can't just buy any artwork and hang it up in your house. You've got to have a commercial premises whereby it has to be used for the purposes of conducting business. If you don't have it on display, it doesn't really kind of lead into your case. You're talking about lending it out. Who are you lending it out to? Are you talking about renting it? There was a big market for renting artwork back in like the corporate space, but like corporate vacancies are through the roof. Nobody's going to pay you to rent artwork anymore, so it's likely going to sit there dormant. So I think this further stresses that people trying to speculate on opportunities to minimize tax, to avoid paying tax in the first place, is stupid, okay? Tax is a consequence of making money. I don't believe that you should be paying any bonuses to the ATO. You should be doing everything in your power to optimize your tax so you don't pay any bonuses. But trying to minimize your tax using harebrained strategies like this makes absolutely no sense. If you go back to my original video, I talk around utilizing these small business CGT concessions, which is you get these concessions on the basis of growing and scaling a really successful business, selling it for under $6 million, obviously meeting certain criteria, and you get that as a bonus. It is a byproduct of creating an amazing business that has intrinsic value and can be sold. It's a secondary factor, not the primary intent of the strategy. So if your tax is the main thing that you're looking for, you're probably looking in the wrong places. Wish you all the best.